Hello everybody, this is Solartiger with another solar power video, and this is another video from the solar shed. I have done some changes in the solar shed and I've made some changes to my solar power system, so let's go over and take a look. Okay everybody, the first thing you're going to notice is I have a different charge controller. I have changed from the cheap PWM controller to a more expensive mppt controller. This is a maximum power point tracking controller, and it can obtain more power from the solar panel because it allows the solar panel to work at a higher voltage than that of the battery. So it converts the high voltage from the solar panel down to the voltage needed to change the battery, and it produces an increase in current. The voltage drops but the current increases. So this is a Sunsaver mppt. I've had this before, and this controller cost about £200 a few years back. So it's an mppt controller. It's a 15 amp controller, and the maximum input voltage is 75 volts. It's a 12 volt 24 volt controller, so it can either work on a 12 volt system or a 24 volt system, and I have it connected to a 12 volt battery. Now the controller does not have a display, it does have some indicator lights, but it does have a connection for a remote meter, and the remote meter is mounted just beneath the controller. Now when you buy the meter, it comes with a long cable, 10 meters or 33 feet in actual fact. Here is the cable. It's 33 foot long, and that is fine if you want to mount your remote meter a distance away from the charge controller, but not so hot if you just want to mount it underneath. So I did some DIY. This cable that you can see here was originally a cable that I used to connect my ADSL router to a microfilter. So it has an RJ11 connector on both ends. It's a 4 conductor cable, and it was originally a straight cable. Each pin was connected to the same pin at the other end of the cable, but I discovered that that wouldn't work. So to make it work, I cut the cable in half and I produced a crossover cable. So say pin 1 on one end of the cable is connected to pin 4 on the other end of the cable, 2 is connected to 3, and so on. So this is a crossover cable. You can buy them on eBay for about £2, but I did some DIY. So this is the remote meter, and it shows you all different things. It's showing now the battery voltage, which is 14 volts, and we produce 0.8 amp hours. And no, actually, let's go back a bit. This is the battery, this is the load side. So the load is drawn 0.8 amp hours. At the moment it says I'm drawing no load, which is true, but if I put a small load on, nothing shows up. So then you have the minimum voltage of the battery and the maximum voltage. I press the center button again, it says the load is on, the load output is on. We've drawn 0.1 amp hours, we're drawing no load. So the temperature in this shed is very hot, it's 34 degrees Celsius, and I was having this fan on but I turned it off so you can hear me. The voltage of the solar panel is 20.62. Right, so this is the battery voltage. this is the charging information. So I've put 0.8 amp hours in. I'm not charging at all at the moment, it says. So right, this is the remote meter. Now with this, there is no way to turn the load on and off. This controller does have a timer, but to access it you need to connect it to a computer. So basically the load is on all the time. So I have switches up here to control my loads. I've stuck a knob on the volume knob that was actually off of a camping lantern. And today, you see this plug plugged in here is connected to the water pump that last time blew the fuses. So what I've done this time, to free it up, I made up a cable. It's a bit of a DIY job. I made up a cable with a cigarette lighter socket on this end, and on the other end are two MC4 connectors. And what I did was I hooked the water pump up to a 100-watt solar panel. I connected it straight to a 100-watt solar panel in full sun, and I ran this, and it ran okay. So what I think the problem was it had been standing since last summer and it was just a bit stiff. So at the moment I have it hooked up to there, to this hose, and it goes to a water butt on this side and goes through the pump and out here. Now here you would normally connect your hose and your spray head, but here I've just connected a bit of hose to show you it working. So I have it working now, and it doesn't blow any fuses. I've got a 7.5 amp fuse up here, the outlet is on, and I'm now going to switch it on, and you can hear it now running. Motor coming out of there, and if I come to the charge controller, we're drawing 5.12 amps, and we haven't blown any fuses, and it works fine. So that's what I intended that socket for, and now it's all fixed. So this is Solartiger saying thank you for watching my update to the solar power system. I did intend to also change this battery. I intended to bring in a 100 amp hour battery and put it in here somewhere and buy a power inverter for a reasonable price. I'm working on the power inverter. I am still looking for one, and I need to clear some space to put in the 100 amp hour battery. But at the moment I'm running on the 20 amp hour battery, and we can run the water pump, yee-hee, with this hot weather if you're needing to water the garden. So this is Solartiger saying thank you for watching my update, and until next time, see you next time. Thank you.